SM Entertainment making their own American Idol, but for K-pop in the US? Everyone and their mothers suddenly making a comeback? A dancer on Mnet's Kingdom testing positive? And a detailed Imitation episode 1 synopsis and review. Well, kids, buckle up. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got a medium amount of things to talk about today. It's been admittedly a little bit slow. Hence why my totally legit K-pop news show, instead of being on Sunday, is on Monday. But if you're interested in all of these subjects, or maybe one or two of these subjects, please feel free to skip through these videos as it is separated into super fancy segments. But before we get into this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and share it with friends you don't have. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram because I'm so close to reaching 10,000 followers and thusly being able to get a very cool swipe up feature. Let us actually start off with NCT Hollywood, which has been everywhere pretty much because people are trying to cancel it. But what is going on exactly? What has gotten the internet up in flames about this new NCT unit? Well, SM Entertainment is pairing up with MGM Worldwide Television Group so that they can create a competition televised series where they create a K-pop group based in America. Now, this US-based K-pop group will not just be any random K-pop group. This group of men who could be from the ages 13 to 25 will be part of NCT's newest unit, which will be called NCT Hollywood. And so far, there's a lot of backlash towards this, but from what I've read, it's really only people who were born in the US. That's literally all we know so far. They will be born in the US, but nevertheless, they will still be flown to Seoul and go through a training process and go through different types of competitions to eventually end up in a group. There's not really any difference to how K-pop groups are made now. The only difference is the concept itself is that everyone will be born in the US and it will be televised. But from my angle, I'm not really seeing how it's any different from, Johnny being in NCT. From what I understand anyways, but people have a lot of concerns, which we will get into. But first, Man, the CEO of SM Entertainment, released the following statement. I look forward to making an unconventional audition show that all music fans around the world can enjoy. I hope the audience enjoys watching the journey of new stars being born in Hollywood that will be promoted as NCT Hollywood in the global market in the future. So why is this really an issue? Why are people going on Twitter and trying to trend cancel NCT Hollywood? Well, I've done a lot of browsing on Twitter and through my totally legit research, as we shall call that, I've come to some explanations. So reason number one that people are against a new NCT unit, particularly this TV show that will show the making of NCT Hollywood, is that a lot of people think that the current NCT members are already neglected, so it doesn't really make sense to create a whole other unit when, according to fans, SM can't even take care of their current idols. People have pointed out that new members Hongchan and Shotaro, who have just been added to NCT, aren't even part of any fixed unit yet. So it seems a little unfair to have them kind of floating around in no fixed unit while SM seems to be preparing another unit already. I don't know if you remember, but there was a rumor not too long ago that these two new members would actually be part of, a Japanese unit of NCT, but we really haven't heard anything of that. So yes, reason number one, they think NCT is already pretty mistreated, so why create another unit to add on to that? Secondly, though some people think that an American survival show could, in theory, be an interesting idea, they don't really want SM Entertainment to use NCT for clout, if that makes sense. They're kind of saying, why can't SM Entertainment make this American-based K-pop group, but leave NCT's name out of it? If we look to other examples of, non-K-pop K-pop groups, we've seen a lot of backlash and a lot of failures in that department. So I guess I can kind of see why people are a little reluctant at just the idea itself. But it would be important to keep in mind we don't really know who the contestants will be, what kind of group it's actually going to be. But yes, reason number two, they just don't want NCT to be associated with this type of project. Thirdly, I've seen a lot of conversations surrounding the fact that some people just don't want non-Asians in K-pop. A lot of people pointing to EXP Edition as an example, saying that if NCT Hollywood ends up actually being a thing, it's probably going to look a little bit like that. But here's the thing, I'm not too sure that it would end up looking like EXP Edition, and if it did, it would kind of be proof that SM, obviously SM knows their market. They created Super M, the Avengers of K-pop, which is a really cool idea. And SM historically, they know the market. But if they make something like EXP Edition, it would show that they do know the market, they just don't really care to cater towards it. Because obviously, something like EXP Edition was not well tolerated by global fans. But I just have this feeling that NCT Hollywood is only going to be based in Hollywood. They're going to be American born, but it doesn't mean there's not going to be Korean Americans in their group. Obviously, I don't know that firsthand, but I have a feeling. But it would be interesting to see what direction SM actually goes, because if it is kind of like EXP edition, then it's kind of like one of those moments where like I can't read this sign. But who knows? Maybe because it's linked to NCT, maybe because the NCT members will be appearing on the show, possibly judging members and so on. Maybe because it's linked to NCT, people would be more open to that idea. But I'm really curious to see how this all folds out. And I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say about this too. So please let me know in the comments down below. Now, let us move on to a little segment that I like to call K-pop Shenanigans, which is basically fun little things that have happened in K-pop recently. And we all know by now that I've been complaining about how K-pop has just been like a little bit boring. And recently we've had so many different groups announce that they're having comebacks, from Luna to Woo-ah. And so I thought, rather than just simply telling you this group is having a comeback on this date and so on, I thought we could rank comeback teaser pictures from Twice to Everglow to everyone in between. I thought it could be fun, why not? And you guys can let me know as well how you would rank these and which you are more excited for in the comments below as well. So in last place we have Twice, and I can't fault them too much because their comeback is supposed to be on June 9th, but they also have June 11th written, so I'm not too sure what that's about. But they will be having their 10th mini album release called Taste of Love. And I mean, you know, someone has to rank last, might as well be Twice. They haven't really given us much because it is in June. But what they have given us is blue text on a white background. Very simple. Can't say that it's like the most intriguing thing I've ever seen in my life. Am I still nevertheless incredibly excited? Absolutely. But also I feel like they kind of ruined it because they had it all really nice into their feed, and then they posted some random pictures and now it's all messed up. Next up, we have Fromis9, who are having their comeback 9-Way Ticket, which is set to be released on May 17th. You know, it's called 9-Way Ticket. I can imagine there's like a kind of travel theme going on. And though I am excited, I don't feel the most intrigued by it. However, I'm going to be ranking Cosmic Girls subunit The Block above this because the suits have really got me. So they're going to release their first single album on May 12th, and I am just feeling some retro vibes mixed with a little bit of casualness within these suits, and I'm really excited. Right off the bat, I think it looks really stunning. On a much brighter note, we actually have Tribe and their comeback with Rubadum that will be released on May 18th. So we have some very brightly saturated pictures, and then we move on to more pink themed pictures, which I love pink themed. But then as we get further on into the teasers, we're starting to see it's mellowing out a little bit. I am hoping their comeback is going to be bright and fiery as the first teaser pictures suggested, and a bit less like their concept videos, but we will see how this all pans out. Okay, but now we have two groups that are really neck and neck for first place, that being Everglow and AESPA. But I guess I'm gonna have to give Everglow number 2. So Everglow have their single album called The Last Melody coming out on May 25th. And as of right now, they've released 2 sets of teaser pictures. The first one's being very red themed, but I have to also point out that they feel very futuristic. There's not a ton of futuristic elements, but they just feel quite futuristic in nature. Then we have a brighter set of pictures which feature these white outfits, and I smell a scandal. You know, if it's not me, someone is going to compare this to How You Like That. Is it really K-pop if everyone does not compare it to How You Like That? We've seen Ice being compared to How You Like That. I have, How You Like That has everything copyrighted. That was a joke. But at number 1, and I really feel strongly that aespa deserve number 1. Number 1, it's not just simply a photo that was taken, right? It also just has like art mixed into it. So Next Level is set to be released on May 17th. Mark your calendars because the effort, oh holy crap. So we're getting these futuristic vibes, they have this whole AI concept, but they took that AI concept and not only put it into the background, but it's within their clothing, it's within their bodies, it's within their faces. These teaser pictures look unreal because they are unreal. Like, it's a whole vibe. They did do Karina dirty though with this set of pictures. I don't know what they were thinking, but I digress. Fun fact. So I don't know if you guys remember, when aespa was about to debut, they released these teaser pictures, and there was an artist who actually kind of called out the similarity between this and their own work. And I had actually covered this in a news show prior, but it seems, my friends, that this very same artist who actually called out SM Entertainment is now working with SM SM Entertainment and has created and worked on these teaser pictures, which I think is why it looks so amazing. So I'm actually really glad that SM Entertainment is working with this individual and we get to see the original artist. So yes, I'm actually super excited for aespa's comeback. I really think I'm on a journey to like properly standing aespa, and I'm really excited about it. Like from pre-debut to now, I feel like it feels special to me. And my friend Minty sent me this very disturbing K-pop song, and I wanted to talk about it and show you guys it. So this music video was released in March and has almost 600,000 views. And let me like trigger warning, it is a little bit like it's disturbing in the sense if like unreality disturbs you a little. I was a little bit taken aback by it. So yes, their faces are not their own. I honestly really don't know what else to say, but they have their own explanation, so let's read a little bit of that. AIA, a mysterious planet distant and parallel to the sun, inhabited by aliens who resemble humans on Earth. Resembling being like the key word here. Resembling also being a very being loosely applied to the situation. But they basically have a flower on their planet that makes them stay, you know, young forever for an eternity, which is the group's name. But that flower has wilted and they found out that human love can save their crisis. So they want to communicate with us. I just wanted to graciously share that with you. I thought it was a very interesting, music video? Yeah. In other K-pop shenanigans, we have ONEUS, who are releasing their 5th mini album, Binary Code, on May 11th. But without further ado, let us move on to our K-pop meme review. I'm gonna go through some of my DMs and see what you guys have sent me. I haven't seen a lot of these. I actually don't have a lot of my own that I found. I usually spend my lifetime on TikTok. It's just, a coping mechanism. But it has come to my attention that my TikTok For You page has taken the you a little bit too literally. And by you, I mean me. Because I would just innocently scroll through my TikTok and then find hate posts about me. So not only is TikTok in timeout, but so are JYP stans. I don't know why this is so funny to me. Y'all remember when Hongsoon got his computer stolen? By Chris. What if Chris is Chris from Stray Kids and that's why he's always so productive of it? I'm just saying, I don't know why I found that so funny. I just want to point out that I saved this before my Stray Kids scandal. I don't know why I saved this picture of Yeosang, but there's this picture of Yeosang. Human glitches caught on camera. Okay. I could watch this for hours, I swear to God. This isn't a meme, but this is something that I found out. I haven't fact checked it, so please don't come for me. But it seems that Yoona and Mingi from ATEEZ were in Miss A's Only You music video. Let's go through my DMs now. Oh my God, not these okay, wait. These were really popular at one point. Okay, this one was really solid. So yeah, don't forget, if you'd like to send me some memes, you can do so over on my Instagram account at moluccensis. Also, feel free to clarify within the DM if you want me to share your username or not, because I do want to screen record. And before we move on to our little K-drama corner, let us talk about Kingdom. So on May 6th, a dancer that was performing with iKON, SF9, and the boys has tested positive, with Mnet leaving the following statement. Not only iKON, the boys, and SF9 who performed with the dancer, but all cast members, including BTOB, Stray Kids, and ATEEZ, as well as the production crew and staff members, are receiving preemptive testing. As we receive the results and guidelines, we will diligently adhere to the terms and cooperation. From there, we started seeing reports from all of the companies saying that their members of the groups in particular have tested negative. However, there were some people in particular who were considered to be in close contact and thus they would need to further quarantine. So YG Entertainment said that member Donghyuk would be in quarantine until May 18th. As to the boys, member Juyeon is also going to be in quarantine until May 18th, and Taeyang from SF9 as well. But yes, that is where we are now. Now we can move on to our little K-drama corner. So I know a lot of people are going to be watching Imitation, even though I just read an article that said it had less than 1% rating right now. But it's fine. There's so many different groups in this drama. I feel like there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. And if this is something you like, then I think I can do it every week where I give you a synopsis of it and then we talk about our thoughts. You know, I'm an alleged ATEE, so, you know, I'm really drawn. There's a lot of ATEEZ members in this, but let me know in the comments what drew you to watching this. Is it just because you like the concept, or are there particular members that you like? I feel like I'll get to know. I found out a UKISS member was in here, and I feel like such a bad UKISS fan. I didn't know or recognize him. Should I just see myself out? For those asking where you can watch the drama, it is actually on Viki. Not sponsored, but yes, let's get into our synopsis, which is probably going to be a little bit long. I don't know about you guys, but I love hearing people or watching people explain something I've already watched. Just maybe personal preference. But we start off this drama at a concert hall where Shax are doing a rehearsal. And Shax is one of the groups that we're going to familiarize ourselves with throughout this series. And some people have said that this drama is cut a little weirdly, and I will admit that, you know, it does cut in odd spaces for sure, but let us get into some of the characters. So we are met with Maha, which straight off the bat seems like a very determined and very bright person. An overly positive individual, shall we say. She's actually taking a photo of the concert hall and saying she will be there one day before getting her phone taken away from her manager. Then we cut to the actual concert where member Ryuk is being pulled away from his actual position on the stage lift. We hear something about another member who is seemingly not there and how he needs to take that member's place, and that everything is riding on his shoulders to make this work. But before we see that happen, we are brought to a flashback. She is seen waking up quite early at 5 a.m. and very bright and happy about it. Again, much emphasis on her determination and her bright nature. And throughout the drama, we definitely see and hear a lot about, you know, the trainee system and how rare it is for trainees to actually ever end up becoming idols. Some trainees talking about how they're lucky to be at this agency in particular because some agencies don't even have windows in their practice room, or how in some agencies trainees have to go into the bathroom for echo to practice their songs. But when it comes to Shax, they have a very nice practice room. They have a very nice dorm. You know, we see they're very well set off, which I think is there to contrast Omega Entertainment, which we will get into later. And this is kind of where the drama is cut weird. I will admit, you know, we're jumping from quite a few different places at once. From Maha, we go to Shax's practice room where they're fighting over sauce preferences. And here we're hearing even more about how jealous people should be about their cafeteria, about their practice room, and so on. Like, it's a very nice company. But this whole sauce incident brings us to a really weird situation with member Angel. And we know something is up with Angel because he's a member that was mentioned in that first scene where Ryuk has to take his place. Now he's being pointed out by the CEO. There's some weird meeting, presumably. And Ryuk actually meets Angel at the top of the building where he's hiding a phone behind his back. Now keep that in mind. From there, we're faced with even more truths about, you know, the world of K-pop. How K-pop idols are chosen and so on. And we have the higher ups at Musicaholic who are determining where people are going. So we see right off the bat that it's a business. They really don't care how much effort these people are putting in. It's about how profitable they can be at the end of the day. So you can be super talented, but if you're not also super beautiful and your personality doesn't really match with all of that, then, you know, sorry, next. And this is very much the case with Maha because they get to Maha and they're like, you know, she's really good at picking up choreography, but looks-wise and personality-wise, it's a no-go. And they're about to, you know, kick her out. But another high-up actually vouches for her and suggests that maybe they send her to Omega Entertainment. Because at Omega Entertainment, they're about to debut a girl group, Omega 3, and one of the members actually just left, and they're a 3-member girl group. So kind of the only reason they accept to do this is so that she's not considered a loss to them, right? They didn't put this much effort into her for her to just be a loss for them, you know? They can still get something out of her by sending her somewhere else. So she's told she could debut in 10 days if she gets sent to Omega Entertainment, and she agrees, but you know, she is quite sad about this because she was so determined to debut at Musicaholic. You know, we're kind of at an understanding that this is a step down for her. So it's after this scene that we get to be introduced a little bit more to Yujin, which is Yuno's character. And he tries to comfort her, but she of course is, you know, quite positive and she's determined to make this work. But we have an understanding that he probably has a crush on her and she has no idea about this. As we see her get to Omega Entertainment, it's basically a basement. We see other members talk about how there's bugs, how people are running away, how there's no hot water, and so on. But Maha has nowhere else to go. But she does really impress everyone because as soon as she walks in, she starts picking up the choreography right away. Flashing to the concert from the first scene in the drama once again, we have Shax who is about to perform and Ryuk who's hooked up to the wires and going to take over Angel's part. And through narration, we find out that Injo actually disappeared on their comeback day, to which the CEO is obviously super pissed about. Cutting back to Maha, who is settling into her new dorm, she drops something, however, in her new room, which is presumably the previous member's room who seemingly disappeared out of nowhere. But she drops something, and in trying to find what she dropped, she finds a phone, which is very similar to the phone that Injo was hiding in the previous scene mentioned. So then we see this huge compilation of Omega 3 preparing for their debut. They're practicing dancing, they're recording things. You know, they're so excited to finally debut. And then they finally get to their stage. And as they're about to rehearse for their stage, they're told that they need to get off the stage because the former member that was going to debut with them was actually, trigger warning, we're going to allude to unaliving oneself. That member was actually found in the Han River, and a lot of people are pointing to the company, saying it's the company's fault for mistreating their trainees. So they can't possibly debut with that out in the open. So they're crying because their friend has just died, but they're also crying because it's like their career basically fell apart in front of them. And then we have that scene, which is contrasted with the higher ups who are like, wow, how could this happen to us? We're so pissed that this is coming in between us and money. You know, you can tell they really don't care about what happened to their former trainee. Then we cut to an award ceremony scene, which, by the way, you know, I complain about lip syncing a lot. If you've ever seen lip syncing in movies, I think it's the worst, or like dramas or whatever. I sit there and I'm like, huh. But anyways, I thought this scene was really interesting because we see a performance on stage and, you know, it's obviously done very nicely. There's backup dancers. It's at an award show. But then we cut to Maha, who is performing the exact same song, but she's wearing a cheap wig. She has cheap props and there's really no one there watching her. So we see these two scenes side by side and it really contrasts how her life has become because now she is doing very cheap performances that no one really wants to watch. And you know, we actually even see a fan cam of Maha's that Shaqs are actually watching at their dorm. And it seems that they're kind of making fun of her. But in true K-drama fashion, fate is making their way to get these two main characters to see each other. So Maha gets called in last minute to film for a drama. She's an extra, and that is actually the drama that Ryuk is filming for. And they actually film a scene together where she actually gets hurt by accident by him, which is like super dramatic, right? But the thing is, her manager actually left her there all alone. So as filming is done, you know, she has nowhere to go. She's walking in the dark all by herself. But then Ryuk's van moves up to her and they lock eyes. And then we cut again to another flashback where they're seemingly in middle school or high school or something. And he's dancing with his friends and she musters up the courage to go up to him and asks him if she can dance with him. She wants to be part of his dance crew and learn to dance from him. And he is, unsurprisingly, an asshole to her. And so that is where we end off with episode 1. We have a clear image of what our two characters are. They're both different in the same all at once. They're both very, very determined people, just in different ways. Maha is a lot more bright in her personality, whereas Ryuk is a lot more serious about it all. And I'm definitely intrigued. You know, it feels like Dream High meets A Love to Kill because, you know, we have this whole idol life thing going on, but also this mysterious element to it. You know, what happened to Injo, like what is going on. I'm excited to see what else is going on. Also, tell me, who is that male lead? Because I'm very intrigued. Sorry to you know who is in my bias line, but this male lead, you know, I'm just very I'm very smitten by indifference and people who would treat me like shit. On that note, do you ever watch older dramas and you're like, why? How in the hell did we romanticize shit like that? Like, that really messes you up. So I'm really hoping there's not going to be too much toxicity because he did treat her like shit before, and, you know, his indifference could lead to, I don't know. The last thing I did want to say is that I thought it's interesting how they're kind of exposing the dark side of K-pop, but like most of these actors directly, you know, participated in that dark side of K-pop, directly had to see their friends, you know, being cut off randomly, directly had to see people spend like, what, 7-10 years training and then just, nope, no debut. And you know, they all know at least like one person who that was the case for. So it's like, it's interesting, isn't it, to know that they have direct experience in that. But yeah, I'm excited. I would love to know what you guys think of all of this. Tell me your thoughts as well. As for me, that is basically it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. As for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!